Okay, once you've downloaded the program, if it doesn't show up on your desktop, you can search for Creative Cloud. So once you launch Creative Cloud and you log in, so I'll log in with mine. Okay, so I'm going to click on School Account. Now, this might redirect you to a page where you are signing in and you're putting in your password as well. At our computers here at school, it might skip that step. I'm not sure. Okay. I'm just going to skip this part for a second. I'm not sure if it'll actually allow me to install it. So if I'm looking for Animate, I click here in the search. I start typing in Adobe Animate. I could search under Apps. Now, it's not on my desktop. I can right click on this and go pin to taskbar, which is right along the bottom. So because we're going to be using this every single day, it's just much quicker to just add this to our taskbar down here. So I'm going to add this to our taskbar and I'm going to launch it. So at home, when you download Creative Cloud, you launch that one, sign in, and then once it's active, you'll see all the different programs, and then you'll find Animate. You'll install that one, and then once installed on your computer, then you can find it in your programs. And you can download this for Mac as well. So once you've added it to the taskbar, you can launch it. The welcome screen will pop up here. If you sign into one computer and then you use it on another computer, like here at school, and then you want to use it in the library or in another computer lab, when you go to log in and you're like, did I sign into two computers already? I'm not sure if I signed in at home or not. It can tell. So it'll say, you've already signed into these two computers. Which one do you want to sign out of? So if you're wondering if you're signed into more than one computer, you don't have to worry about it too much, because once you sign in, it'll already know that you are signed into more than one machine. So this one here, this is our main welcome screen. What we are going to do is we are going to look over here. There's the different size of the document. I'm not going to get into too much information on this yet. We're just going to change the frame rate though to 24. So 24 frames per second is what we want to work with right now. We're just going to leave the default ActionScript 3.0 as our document type. What's cool as well is there's a lot of sample animations, and we'll take a look at some of these ones soon. But right now I just want to go to the basics of Animate and the layout here. Okay. So if you've used Photoshop before, this might look familiar. If you've used some of the other Adobe programs, it might look familiar as well. What Adobe tries to do is they try and make each of their programs look similar, so that users have more familiarity with that program when they use it for the first time. So here we've got our menu, which most programs have, and you click on each, and an edit menu will have a lot of the similar options as most programs do. And then as we go across, we'll see that there's some differences that we might have in other programs. But for the most part, most programs have a menu along the top. Now, this area here, we've got untitled. So that's our document. We haven't saved this yet. So if we want to save this, we're just going to go File, Save As. We are going to create an animation folder. We're just going to call this one Intro. Click Save. And then it changes here. So intro.fla. That stands for Flash document, actually. So right here we see this white background, and this is called our stage. Now, this stage is fairly large. We are at 100%, so I'm just going to click here and go Fit in Window. So when I fit in the window, I can see the entire stage. If I want to zoom out, maybe at 50%. This stage here, this is what our audience will see. So we're almost like creating like an animated movie in a way. And whatever we put on the stage, our audience sees, similar to if you were in drama and you were doing a performance downstairs in the theater. If you are on the stage, the audience can see you. If you're over here, or here, or here, or here, you're off stage, you're behind the curtain, no one can see you. So this is called the pasteboard. So we can actually put objects or whatever we want on the pasteboard, and our audience won't be able to see it until we want them to enter this, or until we want them to see it by making that object enter the stage. So this is our stage. This is our pasteboard. Over here we see our properties panel. This is our library panel. We've got a lot of options to add other panels in here, and we are going to be adding panels and moving them around. One of the panels that we'll be moving first is this one to the far right. Now, I'm not sure why. The default is putting our tools way off to the right, and we're going to be doing most of our stuff over here. We've got to go all the way over here to grab something. So what I like to do is grab this panel. So I'll just click right here, and I can start to drag. And you can see this highlight blue. So it's saying, do you want to dock this right here? So right now I am using up a lot of space because this is all empty. So I can just hover my cursor over here and collapse some of this. So I'll make this like a 2-icon toolbar. Over here in my properties, whichever tool I select, my properties panel will change to say, oh, do you want to make changes to this particular tool? Some of them will look the same or similar. If I click on the text tool, I've got text options here. If I click on some of my shapes, I've got some shape options as well. Down here I've got my timeline. So if we were talking about a film or an animated short, we would probably talk about how long it's going to be, or maybe we're going to have something that loops, or whatever we're going to do. Down here we see our frames per second. We see 1s, 2s, 3s, so those are seconds. We could zoom in and zoom out. So right now I'm zooming in, and now I see all of these squares, and it goes right up to here. So this would be 24, because this is the 25th frame. So this is the 24th frame, so that's 1 second. If I zoom out, I can see we're at 9 seconds, but then it's harder to see these frames. It's harder to click on them. And we can keep going as long as we want, but right now in this preview of our timeline, it'll only show up to 9 seconds because we haven't added actually any frames yet. So I'll just leave this at like its default, which is about this. So I've got layers here. I'll talk more about all of these details in a second, or in the next video actually, because I'm already at almost 10 minutes. And then we're going to look at the toolbar. So this is basically your introductory setup. If you grab a panel and you move it, or you grab the toolbar and you accidentally, oops, I went to grab this and I closed it, and now I can't find it and I'm not sure where it is. If you want to reset everything, if you you go up to the top right, your essentials, you've got different workspaces, but we can go to reset. So you want to put it in its original layout, you go yes, and everything's back to the way it was. And it'll take a little bit of practice to just grab these and figure out how they move. You just grab the panel kind of right in the space here, and then we can always collapse panels or expand them using those double arrows. And again, I want you to practice moving your toolbar off to the right and resizing the panel like so.